Welcome back to Anfield Vibes, your number one home for all things Liverpool. The drama, the triumphs, the controversies, and the inside scoop you won't want to miss. If you love the Reds, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because today's update is one you'll definitely have an opinion on. Now, let's dive straight into it, because the name on everyone's lips right now is Hugo Ekitike. Yes, the young striker who's already making headlines at Anfield, but for all the wrong reasons this week. After his costly red card against Southampton in the Carabao Cup, the big question has been, would Liverpool fine him? Would Arne Slot come down hard on his new signing? Or would he take a more understanding approach? Well, we finally have clarity, and believe me, it sparked a huge debate among fans. So here's what really went down. Ekitike, already on a yellow card, decided to whip off his shirt in celebration after scoring, and boom, the referee had no choice but to show him a second yellow, sending him off. To make matters worse, his first booking had been unnecessary too, for punching the ball away in frustration after a contentious call. Imagine that. 2 silly moments, and suddenly Liverpool were a man down. Now, credit where it's due, the Reds still managed to get the job done and progress to the next round of the Carabao Cup, but the consequences of Ekitike's actions? Those were always going to linger, and heading into the Premier League clash with Crystal Palace, fans were worried that he might not only miss the match through suspension, but also face a hefty fine from the club. But here's where Arne Slot steps in. In his pre-match press conference, Slot cleared the air. Hugo Ekitike will not be fined. That's right, despite reports suggesting otherwise, Slot made it crystal clear. Mistakes happen. And Liverpool isn't in the business of humiliating its players with unnecessary punishments. And this is where things get interesting. Slot's words weren't just about discipline. They were about culture, about philosophy, about how Liverpool operates compared to other clubs. He said, and I quote, "It wasn't very smart what he did. He recognized it himself immediately. He said sorry straight away to his teammates. He's young, and players of all ages make mistakes. At this club, you're allowed to make a mistake without immediately getting fines or these kinds of things. He's a fantastic human being, and even if he wasn't, he'd still be allowed to make a mistake. That right there is powerful." And it makes you wonder, do Liverpool handle these situations the right way? Should the dressing room disapproval be punishment enough? Or should fines still play a role in enforcing discipline? Let me know what you think down in the comments, because this one really divides opinion. Now, let's not forget, in the heat of the moment, the reaction inside the dressing room was not good. Andy Robertson, one of the leaders in the squad, made his disappointment clear. Slot himself was visibly frustrated after the game. But once cooler heads prevailed, the approach shifted from anger to teaching. Instead of piling on the pressure, the club gave Ekitike space to reflect, apologize, and move on. And maybe that's what sets Liverpool apart. You see, this isn't Manchester United under Jim Ratcliffe, where public fines and exaggerated punishments are handed out to show so-called high standards, while results on the pitch continue to suffer. No, at Anfield, the priority is the collective spirit, the winning mentality, and keeping players confident and focused. But of course, this still leaves us with one problem. Ekitike won't be available against Crystal Palace. And that begs the question, who steps up in his absence? Well, Slot gave us a hint. Alexander Isak is likely to lead the line, but his minutes will be carefully managed, capped at around 60 to 70 minutes. That means there will be opportunities for others. Step forward, Federico Chiesa. The Italian has been in fine form recently, and he's just been added to Liverpool's Champions League squad after the heartbreaking injury to Giovanni Leone. Chiesa's energy, flair, and directness could make him the perfect replacement option, especially if Isak can't last the full 90. And then there's the youngster Jadon Danns. Did you see his cameo against Southampton? The lad looked lively, hungry, and absolutely fearless. If Slot wants to shake things up and give youth a chance, Danns could be the wild card who seizes his moment. So even though Ekitike's absence will hurt, especially given his strong start at Anfield, Liverpool are far from short of options. The bigger story here, though, is how Slot handled the situation. No fines, no drama. Just accountability, learning, and moving forward. And honestly, that feels like the right call, because sometimes the biggest punishment isn't money out of your pocket. It's the respect you lose from your teammates and the trust you have to earn back. And by all accounts, Ekitike